Welcome to CandleLight Audiobook. The Secret Misses. Chapter 241. Instinct told him, this was YS, the person Luna once said was extremely dangerous, but she believed would never hurt her. Theo looked at the man's side profile for a very long time. A thought flashed through his head, but it was so quick that it was gone by the time he tried to catch hold of it. What did he feel that this person was somehow familiar? Was it someone he knew? Theo, I'm almost done here. Are you done? Luna dragged a huge suitcase behind her, and turned her head to ask. Done. Theo put the picture back without being noticed. 10 minutes later, Luna was standing downstairs with bags of different sizes. Then, she finally understood why Theo was sure that all her things would fit. A Lincoln limousine was parked outside quietly. Ugh. There was no humanity in the world. Luna hastily pulled down the brim of her cap, and as swiftly as possible, carefully stuffed all her things into the car, then quickly urged the driver to start the car. Because things had happened so suddenly, she hadn't had time to get changed, and if she was photographed now, it would absolutely make the news headlines. Stacy had already told her to keep a low profile during this period, since she had created a big enough buzz. If things continued like this, it would be easy to attract negative public opinion. As if sensing her worry, Theo said, "Don't worry, reporters recognize the car plates." Meaning, they would in no way dare to mess with the car owner. Okay, she was thinking too much. The big demon king was always prepared. On the way to her new apartment, Theo suddenly said her name, Luna. Luna raised her head from where she had been absent-mindedly lost in thought. What is it? Supporting his head with one hand, Theo's gaze was deep as he looked at her. I seem to remember you saying before that if I wanted to chase a girl, you would teach me. A bomb exploded in Luna's head. She cursed herself in a very quiet voice, then laughed awkwardly. I said that? Surely not. He. You did. And you even said you would make sure I learned the right tricks. On the day we went to your apartment to get your spices, you received 2 package deliveries. One of them was a birthday gift from your ex-boyfriend. You said that he was lame at chasing girls, and told me not to learn for him, Theo reminded her as he recited all the details. Luna wanted to slap herself so badly. Watch your mouth. Why didn't you think before you speak? Digging your own grave. So there is a girl you want to chase now? Luna could only pretend to be thick-skinned and ask. Theo nodded. There were stars in his eyes, and he looked at Luna as if she was the whole world. So, teach me. Fuck. Teach her but. You only need to use that expression to look at any random girl, and they will all come flying themselves. Why would you need to chase them? No choice, she had said it herself. There was no use crying over spilled milk. Luna coughed lightly, and acted like she didn't know anything as she lectured. There's a popular online saying, if she is not worldly enough, take her to see the bustling world. If she is experienced, take her on a carousel. Meaning, give the prescription according to the symptoms. What type of girl is the one you like? She. Theo paused, like he was thinking about something, and after a while, the ice in his eyes melted, and he said with a tender smile on his face, she knows the world but isn't worldly. She's a wild spirit but is kind and gentle. She has experienced so much, but has maintained her purity and innocence all this time. She is the most wonderful girl I have ever met. Chapter 242. Knew the world but wasn't worldly. A wild spirit but kind and gentle. Experienced a lot, but maintained her purity and innocence all this time. The most wonderful girl. Ayaya. The teenage girl inside this old madam. Luna clutched her chest, feeling like her crazily pounding heart was about to fall out. Was there anyone who didn't like to hear compliments about themselves? Not to mention, Theo had hit her in all the softest spots in her heart with his sincere and skillful words. Wasn't Theo supposed to be above mere mortals, restrained and cold? It wasn't logical that he was so good with words. The big demon king was seriously waiting for her next move. Luna really wanted to give him 3 big kowtows and beg him to let her go. You ultimate level, mighty big name, you still need me to guide you? Luna coughed slightly, and said heavily, Lord Boss, the way I see it, with your inner and outer qualities and your levels of perception, you totally don't need me to teach you at all. If the other party still hasn't fallen for you the way you are, then there is only one possibility. Theo put his hand down and narrowed his eyes slightly. What possibility? Luna took a deep breath, and said decisively, you are not her type. Not her type. A gust of freezing wind blew in from the north with these words. Luna swallowed, and fought to meet the big demon king's gaze, which was like cold blades. She nodded with certainty. Yes. To put it another way, some like carrots, some like cabbages, and those who like carrots won't like cabbages, no matter how good they are. Theo tapped the armrest of his seat with one finger. After 3 seconds of silence, he said slowly, what if I'm sure I'm a carrot? Luna. Fuck. What do you mean you're sure you're a carrot? Are you so sure that this old woman likes you? How can you be so smart? Then maybe she has another carrot in mind? One carrot, one hole, that hole already has one carrot in it, of course it's not easy for another carrot to get in. Luna twitched at her own metaphor, why the heck had she chosen to use carrot, out of all things? Another carrot she likes. Theo murmured, a glint in his eyes. Who? Now, the freezing wind had become a tornado. Luna, who was in the center of it, felt there was no hope for her anymore. She pretended to look at the view outside the window, and said with an awkward laugh, I'm not a fortune teller, how would I know? I think it's better that you keep things as they are right now to be safe, otherwise what if the other party really likes someone else? When the time comes, and you can't even remain friends anymore, then what? Theo's lips were pressed together, and his face looked like frost. He didn't say a word for a long time, and the air pressure inside the confines of the car was so low it was as if it was going to start hailing. Just as Luna felt that she could no breathe because of the pressure, Theo finally opened his mouth and said, Then. I will pull that carrot out. Luna. Pull that carrot out. Big brother, why do you have to use such scary words? At first she had wanted to find a shield, but could it stop the big demon king's hit? It couldn't even stop a strand of hair. Pathetic, communication failed again. Would only her ultimate move work? She hoped it wouldn't come to that point. 243. Luna's new place was on the 7th floor of the Regal Riviera Hotel. It was a 3-bedroom apartment with a living room, decorated in a simple style and very comfortable. There was a beautiful view of the river from the balcony. Compared with her old, small apartment, the difference was like between heaven and earth. She and Theo, plus the driver, took all her things up in 3 trips. Looking at the bits and bobs in the apartment, Luna wiped her sweat. There's one more bag, I'll go get it. Theo nodded. I'll start organizing. Wait, I forgot something. Luna took out a rectangular gift box from one of the boxes. What is this? Theo asked. Luna smiled mysteriously. Use this to coax girls. Downstairs. Luna finally had the very last bag. When she walked into the lobby, she saw the young female receptionist sizing her up. When she saw that Luna had noticed her, she immediately put her head back down and pretended to be busy. The receptionist at the Regal Riviera had seen so many stars, and was used to it, but Luna had become too popular recently, so suddenly seeing her had been a bit of a surprise, not to mention that she had come today with an especially mysterious man. Luna smiled easily at the young girl, then walked over to her. The receptionist was astonished to see her walk over herself, then she screwed up her courage to say, You're Luna, right? Luna nodded. Yes, I just moved in today. Saying that, she gave her the black gift box. Nice to meet you, this is a little gift for you, I hope we'll get along well. This. I can't accept this. It's okay, someone gave this to me, it didn't cost anything, please take it. You have beautiful lips, they will definitely look good on you. The young girl touched her lips and blushed. Then, thank you. You're welcome. After Luna left, the young girl opened the box to take a look, and was very pleasantly surprised. It was actually 12 tubes of lipstick, all in different colors. God! She loved this brand, but it was just too expensive for her to buy, and her boyfriend was too dumb to think of getting them for her, instead always giving her bizarre things. Shit, was it so hard to get her one measly tube of lipstick. She never expected that Luna would be such a good person. Even though she had gotten many gifts from stars, they were all given with an arrogant attitude, and some gave away things that they didn't want anymore, like it was charity. Luna was different, making her so happy with her gift. It was obvious with one look that the gift had been carefully prepared. Most people looked down upon employees like her. Little did they know that given her job, she knew so many secrets. At the elevator doors opened with a ding. Outside the doors, Luna got a clear look of the person inside, and she knitted her eyebrows together. She never expected to run into Sophia here. Luna. Sophia said in surprise, then addressed her as if she was a thief. What are you doing here? Luna rolled her eyes. Is this your house? Are you the only person that can come here? Sophia crossed her arms and looked down her nose at how she was covered from head to toe in dust. Heh, even if this isn't my house, it's still not a place people like you can come to. Luna walked past her to directly enter the elevator, and she pressed the button to shut the doors. Well, excuse me, I live here. Struck dumb, Sophia was rooted to the spot as she watched the doors close with suspicion. Chapter 244. Luna lived here? Impossible. But you needed a key card to get in and out, so how did she get in? Sophia muttered to herself as she walked. In the end, she gave in to her curiosity, and went to ask the receptionist. Rita, the girl who came in just now, that was Luna, does she live here? Sophia asked. Rita had both a polite and troubled expression on her face. Miss Sophia, that concerns the privacy of our residence, which we cannot disclose. You already know how strict management is. Sophia slipped a gift card into her hand. Little sister, do me a favor. I just want to know if she really lives here. It's not a sensitive issue, and won't affect you. Rita glanced disdainfully at the gift card as she thought in her heart, you always boss me around so arrogantly, and now that you want something from me, you know how to talk and act nice? She wanted to give it back, but then changed her mind. Taking the card, she said, yes, she lives here. The information was registered with us around half a month ago. Hearing this, Sophia's eyes lit up. Who's the owner? Seeing her expression, Rita knew instantly what she was thinking, and said, it was registered under Glory World Entertainment. No doubt her company arranged accommodation for her. Sophia blinked dumbly. What? Are you sure? She had thought she could catch Luna out with this. Rita said in a confident tone, how can it be a mistake? That suite is the best one in the whole of Regal Riveria. It's facing the river and the view is especially good. It had always been vacant, up until half a month ago, when Glory World staff brought workers in to redecorate the whole place, and wrote down her information on the registration form. Got it, thanks. Sophia's face was black as she left. Sheet, was Glory World Entertainment insane? Actually giving a newbie like Luna such good privileges. She thought about her conversation with Luna not too long ago, about how nice it had been of Starlight to arrange accommodation for her. This simply felt like she was slapping her own face. Looks like she needed to keep an eye on Luna, and figure out once and for all who the person supporting this slut was. With Theo's help, Luna finished unpacking her things in half a day. Looking at everything in their place and how organized things were, her mood brightened up. She had been feeling that everything was surreal after signing with Glory World. Now, looking at what would be her home for the near future, she finally felt reality start to creep back in. Luna gave Theo a new towel to wipe off his sweat, and thanked him, I'm really grateful for your help today, how about I treat you to dinner? No matter what, Theo had been busy the whole day helping her move house. The least she could do was treat him to a meal. How about we stay in to eat? Theo asked. Luna scratched her head. But the gas hasn't been connected yet in the kitchen, and there's nothing here. I'm afraid I won't be able to cook. It's fine, you don't need to do anything. Today has been very tiring. Theo made a phone call and only said 2 words to the person on the other end. Come in. In the next second, the doorbell rang. Luna opened the door suspiciously, then jumped in shock. People in uniform were standing neatly in 2 rows outside the door, each one of them holding a gourmet dish in their hands. The young brother standing in front of them held a big bouquet of lilies. Standing tall and straight, Theo walked over with strong, steady steps and took the flowers from that young brother, then turned to Luna. For you. Chapter 245. Seeing that big bunch of white lilies, Luna blinked in a daze, and took it reflexively. Then the waiters came in one after another to spread a tablecloth and put down candlesticks. Within 5 short minutes, they had set up an incomparably exquisite candlelight dinner. Bowing, the well-trained waiters then left. So this was what Theo meant about staying in to eat. She thought he meant to cook at home. She was too naive. Just now she had seen that the waiters' uniforms were engraved with the words, Red Chamber. Red Chamber was the most famous private restaurant in B City's aristocratic circle. It cooked for only 1 table every day, and reservations were lined up until next year. This restaurant also had a rule that you couldn't order any dishes, you ate whatever they cooked. It was this type of restaurant, yet Theo was actually able to get them to do takeouts. Luna looked at the flowers, and then looked at the candlelight dinner. Aren't these all the signs of a confession? A small voice in Luna's head whispered fearfully. Theo had deliberately sent little treasure away today, arranged these things in advance, and even asked her how to chase girls, which was a very leading question. Was he really going to? Why was it that the more she thought, the more she panicked? The next second, her gaze landed on the little dessert stand next to the table. There can't possibly be an engagement ring hidden in the cake, right? Cough, cough, cough. Impossible. Impossible. Given Theo's character, there was no way he would use a method that was so easy to guess. Don't like the food? Seeing that her complexion wasn't good, Theo frowned slightly, and then picked up the phone. I'll have them remove these and bring other ones. Luna hurriedly waved her hands. No need, no need. They're all dishes I like. What I meant was, I should be the one treating you. How did it turn into you treating me? It's the same, Theo said indifferently. Then he pulled out the chair for her like a gentleman. Cough, thank you. Luna could only sit down. She cautiously observed Theo, then realized a particular detail. Today was not a work day, so accordingly he should be dressed in casual clothes. But today he was dressed up smartly, and had put on a bow tie for the first time. After sitting down, Luna realized in her absent-mindedness, she had forgotten that she was still holding the flowers in her arms, so she hurriedly looked for a vase to arrange them in. Like it? Asked Theo. What? Luna was taken aback. The lilies. I like them very much. I think lilies suit you very well. Luna. Was he talking about how the lily stood for purity, or a harmonious union lasting 100 years? Eat up. Theo passed her some food with his chopsticks. It's fine, I'll help myself. To conceal her anxiety, Luna began to wolf down her food. When she ate until her stomach started to feel uncomfortable, she finally realized something was off. She had a half-eaten cake in one hand, and she knitted her brows as she looked at the man opposite her. Theo hadn't eaten very much, but he had opened a bottle of wine which he had been drinking by himself. The bottle looked like it was almost empty now. Theo, why are you just drinking wine, and so much of it? I didn't see you eat very much, Pu. Luna still had had some cake in her mouth when she spoke, and while she was talking, she suddenly bit down on something hard, and hurriedly opened her mouth to spit it out. What the hell, what is this thing? My teeth are numb. With a ding, a sparkling ring fell onto the white porcelain plate in front of her. Chapter 246. Luna goggled and stared at the ring on the plate, her eyes large as bulbs and her expression completely stunned. Luna. You. R. A. Crow. Mouth. She had actually hit the nail on the head. She had been on guard against him the whole time. She had always subconsciously thought that in chasing a girl, the big demon king would swoop in with one single brilliant move that would be impossible to guard against. How could she have expected such an old-fashioned method? And yet, the end result was still impossible for her to guard against. Had the big demon king deliberately acted the opposite of his normal behavior? At this moment, what Luna regretted the most was not swallowing the ring straightaway to destroy the evidence. Beneath Luna's lifeless gaze, Theo finished the last of the wine. He put down the glass and looked at her with deep eyes. I have been drinking because I'm nervous. Luna. He was nervous? Who should actually be the nervous one? Theo's face changed from cold ice to tipsy mist, but his eyes, dark as the night, were clear and bright. His cool voice was like raindrops falling into a deep pool. I have never done anything that I'm uncertain about, but this time, I did. This is probably the most impulsive thing I've ever done in my life, but I have no choice, and I have no room for regret. No matter whether I step forward or retreat, you have already decided to keep your distance from me. It's just the difference between doing it later or sooner. I have been planning this day from the first day I met you, and I've made countless plans. But you are becoming more and more afraid of me, and for you now, it seems that all those ways would only frighten you, so I chose the most traditional and gentlest method. Luna was speechless when she heard these few words. The gentlest method, thank you so much for being so considerate. But I'm still freaking scared, okay? Theo paused, then raised his head and continued speaking. No matter what way I use, I'm not confident that I can fully move you. Though the plan today is already the most dependable one that I can think of, I calculated that it only has a 17% chance of success. Luna, huh? What's 17%? How the heck did he come up with this magical number? Cough, 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 that. Out of her wits, Luna unconsciously reached for some wine. Discovering that Theo had finished it, she poured herself a full glass of fruit juice, and gulped it all down. Luna set the glass down with a bang, and finally found her voice. Theo, you're practicing how to profess your love for the girl you like, right? Great, great, traditional and classic, low-key but not losing any of its meaning, the lines are sensational enough. Theo silently looked at the girl opposite him. He pushed his chair back slightly, stood up, stretched his long arm across the table, used his fingertips to pinch her chin, and in the next second, he leaned over to kiss her lips. Luna's voice was abruptly cut off. It was only 3 seconds later that she reacted, but Theo gripped the back of her head and kissed her more deeply. The room was so silent that one could hear a pin drop. There was only the sound of quick breathing, the sound of clothes rubbing against each other, and of lips and tongues tangled together. The temperature in the room rose quietly. Some indeterminate time later, Theo finally broke the kiss. He slowly moved away from her lips, but his palms still cradled the nape of her neck, and he leaned his forehead against hers softly. Chapter 247. Luna's eyes were closed, her eyelashes flickering slightly, and when she spoke, her voice was a little hoarse. Theo, why won't you listen to your teacher? It hadn't been that long ago that she had told him that he should maintain the status quo and not act rashly. In the end, he had turned the other way to directly profess his love and propose. This was simply the biggest trap. The teacher teaches the trade, but the apprentice's skill is self-made, Theo could still say in a very reasonable tone. Teacher didn't teach you to act indecently. But this was the only way to let you know that the one I like is you, teacher. Then this is being insubordinate. Then that must be because teacher is too cute. Theo leaned his forehead against hers, and took hold of her slender fingers with his big palm to place them over his heart. At that moment, his clear, cold eyes burned like lava, and it was as if he was casting a spell on her with his persuasive tone. Teacher, be with me, and everything that I have will be yours. Stop talking. Luna's brain was in a mess, especially when he called her teacher, which gave her a strange sense of shame. She tried to cover her ears, but was still too late. Theo said, "Little treasure is also yours." Luna's pupils suddenly contracted. Theo quietly observed her reaction. When he saw her staring at him with big round eyes, the corners of his mouth tilted upwards slightly. His palms kneaded the sensitive flesh at her nape, as if he was teasing a kitten. "So what is the percentage now?" Luna covered her face and subconsciously answered, "It's already half and half." As soon as she said it, she really wanted to bite her tongue off. "Shit. Theo, you're too shameless. Even using little treasure. Little treasure is my natural advantage, how can you say I'm using him? Then what do you say to using a honey trap on me?" Luna was indignant at the injustice done to her. Even if she wanted to break free of Theo's palms, which were keeping her where he wanted her, Theo wasn't using any force to keep her in place, so no matter how she wanted to, she couldn't bring herself to break out of his hold. "Did I?" Theo sounded innocent. Okay. You didn't use one, but it looked lewd to me, so it was lewd, alright. Theo. Luna was angry, but halfway through, she suddenly felt something was wrong. Luna paled and she clutched her stomach. My stomach hurts." "What? Where does it hurt?" Theo's face immediately became serious. Stomach. It really hurts. It's getting more and more painful." Sweat rolled down Luna's forehead. "What's going on? You were perfectly alright, why do you suddenly have a stomachache? Was there something wrong with the food?" Luna coughed slightly. It shouldn't be. I think, maybe I ate too much. Just now after I drank a large glass of orange juice, I already felt there was something wrong with my stomach." Only at this moment did Theo realize that she had eaten almost all of the many dishes on the table, not to mention that she had drunk such a large glass of juice. Theo immediately got angry. "Luna. Are you an idiot? You ate so much but you didn't realize you were overdoing it?" Luna was angrier than he was. "Wasn't that because of you? You scared me to the point that I kept eating to calm down. You finished all the wine by yourself, not leaving even one drop for me. So the only thing I could drink was orange juice. And you actually scold me for this." After saying that, she clutched her stomach and howled even more miserably. Theo instantly stopped being angry, and hastily placated her. "It's my fault. I'll send you to the hospital right now." Chapter 248. Hearing his words, Luna looked embarrassed. "What? Let's not. Going to the hospital in the middle of the night because of overeating is too humiliating. Is face more important than your body?" As he spoke, Theo grabbed his wallet and phone, then quickly lifted her by the waist. Luna immediately waved her hands. "Erg. Theo, no. Switch to a different position. Maybe it's better if you just help me walk slowly. This position makes me more uncomfortable." "You." Theo was both angry and concerned, and could only put her down and carefully help her walk out. When they reached the hospital's emergency room, Luna's clothes and hair were wet with sweat. Because Luna had been clutching her stomach and Theo had an expression suggesting that the sky was about to collapse, a nurse immediately met them and gave Luna a hand. "Is the baby coming? Quick. Get onto the stretcher." Luna lifted the mask she had been wearing to avoid being recognized, and with black lines on her head, explained, "No, that's not it, sister nurse. I overate." The nurse was speechless for a second, then looked down at her stomach, and realized that it was only protruding a little, and in fact wasn't like the stomach of a pregnant woman. "For stomach issues, please turn left." "Thank you." At midnight, after a period of torment, Luna's diagnosis finally came out. She had acute gastritis caused by overeating and stress within a short period of time. Theo touched the girl's pale cheek as she lay in the hospital bed, his own face full of pain. "Does it still hurt?" Luna nodded bitterly. "Yes, but it's not as bad as before, Theo, there's one thing." "What is it? Tell me." Luna hesitated for a moment, then embarrassedly said, "Seems like the ring scraped and broke the skin on one side of my gum." I didn't feel anything earlier, but now it hurts a lot. Theo face-bombed, and didn't know whether to cry or laugh. He ruffled her hair. Wait for me. I'll get you some medicine. After Theo left, Luna let out a long breath of air, and then stroked her round stomach. She never expected her stomach would work so hard during a critical moment. But, the feeling of overeating was really uncomfortable. She never wanted to feel it for a second time in her whole life. Before, there had been times when she had been too busy to eat, and as a result, had once also gotten a sudden acute case of gastritis at midnight. The difference was that at that time, she couldn't get a taxi at midnight, so she rode her motorbike to the hospital herself, registered herself, got her medicine herself, and sat on a cold bench in the corridor within 4 drip by herself. Theo came back quickly. He sat down on the edge of the bed with the medicine, and opened the bottle and said seriously, "This medicine is topical. Open your mouth and I'll help you put it on your wound." Luna obediently opened her mouth, but her tongue accidentally touched it, and she frowned. Bitter. Endure it for a bit, don't touch it. Oh. After applying the medicine, Theo looked at her with gentle eyes and said softly, "Teacher." A little startled, Luna was blank for a bit before she realized that he was calling her. "Ah. I'm sorry." Theo sighed softly with self-reproach, then took her hand and gently kissed the back of it. "Blame this student who has no skill, causing you to get hurt." Luna's heart skipped a beat. Damn, 60%, 61, 62, 63, it continued increasing. How is this no skill? He was obviously a prodigy. Chapter 249. Luna shook her head and quickly ended the dangerous and ambiguous teacher-student talk. She then switched to employee mode, raised her hand, and said primly, "Boss, I would like to apply for a period of consideration without disturbances." After thinking about it, Theo agreed without reservation. "Granted, how many days do you want?" Luna counted with her fingers, then said weakly, Can I count in years?" "I'll give you 7 days." Theo ignored her unreasonable request and made the decision for her. "Okay, 7 days it is. Then, after I leave the hospital tomorrow, can I stay at my apartment for the time being?" "You just agreed, no disturbances. Little Treasure isn't home, and I need to be at the company the day after tomorrow, and the apartment's a little closer to it." Luna did her best to give a legitimate reason. "You can." Theo nodded without the slightest hesitation. That was it? When he suddenly stopped tripping her up, she was not used to it. Luna narrowed her eyes, a fox-like expression on her face. It seemed she had discovered the best way to deal with the big demon king's tricks. To bet on her own health? Was it because earlier, the doctor had said that she shouldn't put too much stress on herself? This only worked because he cared for her too much. When she thought this, the number in her heart shot up to 80%. Next day. Because her condition wasn't serious, Luna was discharged from the hospital in the morning. As he promised, Theo sent her to her apartment, stopping by the supermarket on the way to buy things to fill up the fridge with, and ordered 3 meals every day for her, warning her repeatedly to watch what she ate. Luna sat on the sofa, watching Theo go back and forth busily. After checking the fridge, he still stood there trying to think if he had missed anything. Luna couldn't take it anymore, and coughed lightly. "Theo, no need to trouble yourself anymore, I can take care of myself." Theo turned and walked towards her. "Then I'm heading out." Even as he said that, his face was still full of worry, as if she was a 3-year-old kid who couldn't do anything for herself at all. Luna struggled to keep the number inside her heart unchanged. "You sure you're all right now?" "Yes. Yes. My stomach isn't hurting at all anymore. My body recovers very fast." That's good." Theo's eyes grew darker, and he nodded in satisfaction. Luna. There was nothing wrong with what she'd said, but why did she feel like she had been tricked? She was lost in thought when Theo suddenly leaned in towards her, but before he got close, he stopped halfway, then retreated a bit. He stretched out one hand to rub the top of her head. No disturbances. Luna. You are disturbing me already. She finally understood, this person didn't need to do anything, his existence was a huge disturbance itself. After Theo left, Luna finally completely relaxed. She hugged a pillow in her arms and fell into a daze on the sofa, thinking about everything that had happened lately. In the end, things had still come to this point. She had had a premonition, and she had also been prepared, but now that they were here, her brain was still blank and everything was a confused mess. She gave her a score of 0 for this appearance of hers. Actually, she planned in the beginning to say some deliberately brutal things to make Theo give up on her. But when she looked at his face, she couldn't say a single word, and her originally resolute heart was starting to waver. What she had always thought would never happen, was slowly starting to change. No wonder there had been incapable rulers in their history. Beauty was dangerous. Chapter 250. Next morning, in Stacy's office at Glory World Entertainment. Stacy, I'm not late, am I? Luna had rested at her apartment the whole day yesterday, and was pretty much fully recovered. It was only that she still looked a little wan, so today she had chosen to wear a trendy outfit with a bold combination of colors to brighten her skin, making her look young and energetic. In front of the desk in the office, Stacy as usual did not have a single strand of hair out of place. She wore a suit jacket and an A-line skirt in cool colors, and was working on some documents. Seeing that Luna had come, she sized her up first before raising her head. No need to be nervous, it's nothing important today, I just wanted to show you around the company before shooting starts tomorrow. Even if you normally won't come to the company often, you still need to be familiar with the company's basic department structure. Okay, thank you, Stacy. Let's go. Luna nodded, and followed her out. With Stacy's guidance, she familiarized herself with each company department, and met a few of her new colleagues. Whatever they thought inside, on the outside, everyone was polite to her. Even though everyone tacitly understood that this was a battle between Glory World and Starlight, and Luna was the company's weapon in striking at Starlight, it was the undeniable truth that the company was prepared to nurture Luna, so nobody wanted to court bad luck by harassing her during this critical period, when public opinion of her was flourishing. Tut, this Luna is even better looking in person, no wonder second young master likes her. I have a feeling, as long as her EQ is not too low, she'll definitely become a hit. That's hard to say. Eva just left, do you think people will allow her to make it big so easily? Anyway, do you think she and Stacy will get along? Doesn't Stacy hate those type of actresses the most, the ones who rely on their good looks to climb their way up? The company was actually pretty big, and Luna followed Stacy for more than an hour before they completed the tour. As they were about to take a look at the film sets and recording studios behind the company, they unexpectedly ran into someone in the corridor. Yo! Isn't this our big manager Stacy? Finally stopped becoming a hermit? I thought you wouldn't be coming back to the industry after your setback. The woman speaking was around 30 years old. She wore sexy and trendy clothes. Her hair was in big waves, and she had exquisite makeup on. She was dressed up even more magnificently than any star. Because she often appeared in newspapers and magazines, and she had seen her from a distance on production sets several times before, Luna instantly recognized that this was Su Yimo's manager, Chloe. Faced with Chloe's provocative words, Stacy's eyebrows didn't even twitch, and she said blandly, with Sister Machine still working hard, how can we youngsters slow down? Chloe was pissed. On the side, Luna struggled not to laugh out loud. She hadn't expected that Stacy, who looked inflexible and severe, to have such a vicious tongue. Chloe ground her teeth and humphed coldly. Stacy, I didn't think you would do well to begin with, but I can't not admit that you have some skill, being able to raise Eva that plain nobody up to such a high level. But now. Chloe deliberately paused, and glanced disdainfully at Luna. After Eva, you went and found yourself such a flower vase, who besides scandals and her looks, doesn't have one good thing about her. I remember that you hate artistes who rely on their good looks the most. So? Have you fallen so low now?